Hello, darling. Today I'm feeling tired, sleepy. I don't know what's happening. Like, oof. How's life? Hi, Bruce. Hello, how's your day going? I don't know. I feel like I'm still waking up and it's 9 a.m. Oh, man. It's rainy. No, it kind of looks, it's a dull day. The day is kind of like a little bit dull. My day is just beginning. Like it's morning here. So um yesterday I went for like a 1 hour run last night. And then I went out to see a friend of mine. And so when I came home, it was a little bit late. It was around like 10. And I slept. I slept so well today. I woke up around 4, like around 4:30. Usually I don't get out of bed when I'm out there. So I usually, oh shit. Today, man. Oh God. Today is one wonky day. I don't even know what to say. So I just spilled my tea, like all of it. No. Oh goodness. Okay, so we got a mess. Okay. I gotta make some tea. My body, I'm not sore. Um, I just feel like my body's not helping me. It's not sore, but it's not. I think it's just tired. Like I'm just tired. Double tap Jedidah. Nice to see you. Team. At team. Hello. Let me just make some more water. I was just enjoying my water. I put some cinnamon sticks. Let me make some more water. So this is why today has been a little bit of a nightmare. So I usually buy water in this jar, right? So when I'm driving, this jar went like this, and I lost more than half of my water. And then when I'm sitting down to drink the tea, I spill my tea. Something's wrong. Oh, Bruce, you just had cinnamon. I'm try to squeeze. Having my nails. I've been doing these color combos. Oh shit. I'm sorry. These days kind of a little bit weird for me. I'm getting into all these accidents. Tired of it. I almost cut myself. I don't review comments. Like if your comments are not respectful, I don't review comments. Um, yeah, I'm too lazy for that. Uh, Hi, Dr. Jonathan. How's your day going? Going very good. That doesn't say much. Saying very good doesn't say anything at all. Right? Saying very good is kind of like saying it's going, it is what it is. My day kind of just, it's going. And you did some surgery today. Are you like a real doctor? I thought it was like a name that you just put here. I'm a doctor. Everybody has like names here. So, who has a problem that we need to solve? Mental health advocate. I might tell you things that work that you don't want to hear, but you know, we got time. Oh, you got one of these? They're really warm. They are good for the winter. I kind of just like it when it's on the couch. When I'm reading my book and I want to warm my, I usually like my legs warm when I'm reading. So, hi B, Bap, walking tall, your Native America. We make, yo, you make these blankets. Oh, I didn't know that. Today I'm making, today I'm taking some, today I'm taking some mint. I put some mint leaves and I put cinnamon stick and I put lemon on my cup. So you see, you can see the cinnamon. You can see the cinnamon stick and the lemon. The leaves are at the bottom. Oh, they oh wow. Yeah, they must be made on a loom because of the way they look. They're very good. Yeah, today I'm not doing locks today. I want to do my hair. I want to kind of treat my hair, do some hair treatment because my hair is thinning. My birthday is coming up. I don't have money to go to Brazil because I want to travel to Brazil. Hey, will somebody donate for my birthday? I want to go on a vacation. What, tell us which vacations you guys like to go. I don't know how to play the guitar. What are you talking about, Warren? Your birthday was in February and you worked all the weekend. Well, if working is what you like doing, then you had a good birthday. You know, some of us want to travel before we hit 90 and we cannot travel anymore. Mm. Tell us what's going on with your life. Let us solve our life problems here. We talk about mental health, life, love, relationships, drug addiction. How is life taking you? Let me read my poems, like my poems. You are one person, but when you move, an entire community walks through you. You go nowhere. By virtue of living in a racist world, non-Black people are raised to be anti-Black. We are all taught that lighter is better. Your voice is your sovereignty. You look tired, he says. I turn to him and say, yeah, I'm exhausted. I've been fighting misogyny for decades. How else do you expect me to look? No one on this planet is more in denial than the white man who, regardless of all the evidence in front of him, still thinks racism and sexism and all the world's pain don't exist. The world is changing. Can you feel it? Undressing itself and slipping into something uncomfortable and more just. I'm not interested in a feminism that thinks placing women at the top of oppressive systems is progress. The future of our dreams can't be built on corruption of the past. Tear it down. When I saw myself for the first time, when I dusted off the mirror of my mind, and the woman looking back took my breath away. Who was this beautiful beastling? The extra celestial earthling. I touched my face, and my reflection touched the woman of my dreams. All her gorgeous smirking back at me, my knees surrendered to the earth. And as I wept and sighed at how I'd gone my whole life being myself but not seeing myself, spent decades living inside my body, never left it once, yet managed to miss all its miracles. Isn't it funny how you can occupy a space without being in touch with it? How it took so long for me to open my eyes, to open the eyes of my eyes, embrace the heart of my heart, kiss the soles of my swollen feet and hear them whisper, thank you, thank you, thank you for noticing. You have everything to gain from believing in yourself, yet you spend all the time with self-doubt. I really like that poem. You have everything to gain from believing in yourself, yet you spend all the time with self-doubt. Because sometimes I doubt myself, um, and I don't know why self-doubt comes. I think self-doubt comes when you do a lot of things and you don't see results, and then self-doubt comes, right? For example, let's say you're working out and you're not losing weight, or you're on a diet, you're not losing weight, and you keep trying and trying, and it's not working out, then self doubt comes. But the good mindset for me has always been, if I keep learning the right concepts, I might actually break through at some point. For example, like when you're struggling with weight loss and you're doing diet and working out, most likely you don't understand what is causing you to gain weight, like insulin and high carbs, high sugar diet. That can be the culprit. But if you don't have that concept, you struggle with it. So for me, I always try to look for the magic concept that will actually briefly change my life without all this like struggle, right? You look for the concept that works, because there is always a concept that's winning with every problem that you have. There is always that one concept that is key to unlocking this, how to solve your problem. Like for me, when I was working out and dieting, not losing weight, I did not understand fasting, like how fasting really is the magic that unlocks, insulin resistance and help you lose weight. And I had all these problems. So there is something that will unlock whatever you're going through. If your message is held for review, I do not review those messages because they are not good messages to read. Freezy, you are telling us, does self-doubt from past experiences or just a human thing? You know, if you watch like a team, like like any team that's playing a game, when that team starts losing, their morale drops. And the more they keep losing, the more they hurt, the more they lose the morale, right? And I think self belief comes from achieving one thing and achieving another thing and then achieving another thing and slowly achieving and achieving and achieving. That's why you kind of have to stack up like small wins so that you believe in yourself. um Sometimes it's experience, sometimes it's also the way you've been nurtured, I think. I i just feel, I love you so much, Bernard. Okay, thank you, love. uh yeah, so I do feel that you can be nurtured, you can grow up with actual parents who make you believe in yourself, and that is a beautiful thing because they give you the confidence, or they are capable. It's hard to be in survival mode sometimes and believe in yourself. Let's say you're battling a something, like you're sick, or let's say your family member is sick or something like that, right? And you're constantly stressed out, worn out, you don't have time to think or meditate. It's easy to be vulnerable to the stressful mind, and the way it goes through negative thinking, frustration, like all that. I am ready to pay anything you want because, yeah, some people are just so disrespectful. Like, this is a YouTube channel. You know what I mean? Hello, Sunday. Sunday from Nigeria. How was Easter? What did you do for Easter? Anything fun with your family? Me, I'm doing good. I don't know, today I'm a little tired physically, but I am hydrating. I took I took 2 eggs this morning. So for me, what happened when I think what happened when I stopped self-doubting, it didn't happen one day. Like, it did not happen one day. It was like things that I learned over time about how the human brain works. We all have the same brain that was used by other people, like by the early man, right? All of us, everywhere on the planet, we have the same brain. So nobody is special. So the vulnerabilities of my brain are the same vulnerabilities, somebody like Michelle Obama has, whatever Trump has, whatever anybody that comes to the mind, right? Whatever vulnerabilities they have are the same vulnerability that you have and I have. Everybody has the same brain. And so you realize that if somebody can achieve greatness, it means you also have the potential to achieve that greatness. And the way the human brain learns over time is through repetition. So, for example, if you want to learn the guitar, right? And you keep learning about the theory of the guitar, practicing, and you keep doing that, you are going to become a guitar player. You don't need to be talented. You don't need to be, somebody who even understands the guitar, right? You just have to learn a little bit every day. With repetition, you're going to become good at anything you set your mind to, whether it's selling something, building something, working on your relationships. You know, the only way you help yourself is through learning and practice. Sunday says, Easter goes well. Some messages disappear because I remove them. Um, yeah, it's disappear because I remove them when somebody is very disrespectful. Shout out to Jorge from French Guinea, from Guyana. Um, yeah, it's practice that makes perfect. Welcome to the stream, son. I'm doing good. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Yeah, like confidence is built over time by small wins, by building yourself over time, like stacking up the small wins. That's what I came to learn myself. Um, that's how you eliminate self-doubt. So if you know that everybody stacks up confidence over time, like people stack up confidence over time, then you don't have to worry about where you are starting from or where you're going to end up. Like there are things that will ultimately make you a winner in life. Yeah, like it's the mindset. For example, like this is one of my mindsets, right? I don't do drugs. Like I don't do alcohol, I don't do drugs. And let me tell you why this is a winning mindset. When I'm broke, I'm not doing drugs. When I'm lonely, I'm not doing drugs. When I'm feeling unhappy, I am not doing drugs. When I am feeling like I'm angry, I'm not doing drugs, okay? Now that's a winning mindset because there is a law that I will not hit as long as I am not doing drugs, right? There's that level of law that I will not go to that level because there's a ceiling. Like I have decided I'm not going to do this, so I'm not going to go go to that level. That puts me on a ceiling about how much misery I'm going to experience in life, right? I can be broke, but I will not be broke and high. I will not be broke and lose my mind, right? I'm not going to be, like I can be sick, but I'm going to be sick and sober. Like, you know, because the last thing I want to lose is my mind. Like, if you got like some boundaries, right? Some boundaries to protect your mind, that's what like the mindset, the mindset that you have for your winning strategy. It's really mindset is important, and mindset is a lot of different things to different people. So for me, like that for me, maintaining my health or working out, maintaining my health, that's a winning mindset. Because I know a lot of people, we don't want to work out, we want to sit on the couch and binge watch things and forget that we have our body to take care of. Now, if I have this practice to take care of my body, that's a winning mindset, right? I'm working out, I'm eating well, and I'm not doing drugs. For me, I feel like I will go the distance with that. Like that will take me the distance in terms of health. Like no matter what I go through, that mindset will take me the distance. Um, like there are things I want to change about my mindset. Um, like there are things I want to change a little bit. For example, I'm not very friendly type of a person. So sometimes I don't network with people as much as I should, especially when I'm trying to start a coaching business, right? Because I'm mostly an introvert. I prefer learning and reading and writing and kind of being in that zone. Now, that does not help you when you're starting a business and getting to know people. Um, you really have to have that outgoing personality. So, networking is kind of tough, but for me, I don't like networking because I feel like a lot of people are not there for the business, right? Like, oh, let's network for the business. Like they're predators. They're, they are kind of like all these lazy personalities. Um, it doesn't interest me. But that mindset is exactly why I don't network because I'm very protective of myself and my space. Mm. So I kind of have to find a balance, right? I feel safer on the internet, like doing things like YouTube live. I feel safer because you're safe and you can do it from the comfort of your own home. You can possibly meet people who want to take your coaching classes and learn things about setting boundaries, financial stability, stuff like that I have read, and that really works like life-changing concepts, I guess. But still, it's nice to put yourself out there. Um so for me, that's kind of like a mindset that I want to change. And networking is so tough because you really got to go out there and talk to people, and you can just stay in your own comfort zone. But finding like-minded people is probably worth the hassle, of going out and networking, because you're now looking for your tribe, the people that kind of got the same mindset as you. Anyway, what are your challenges when it comes to networking? What are your challenges when it comes to career, your career development, moving from one career to the other? If you're thinking about changing your career, if you're thinking about transitioning, or, what are the challenges that you're kind of facing when making these career moves, adjustments, whether it's networking, like what are you guys looking to get you to the next level in 2026? Because everybody has to be headed somewhere in 2026. It's a tough environment, but yeah, but how do you go on in your networking journey? If I was to start, what would I need to know? Okay. Um, I think the best thing is to just show up to a networking event. Maybe you join um a group of commerce, like let's say you live in your city, that city's commerce, like commerce group where people do referrals. I've done that. And really all you do is show up, dress nicely, dress professional, be nice with people. If you have a business that you want to promote, have your business cards and get to know people and the kind of businesses they do. Um, if you get somebody you can refer them, because people, when you refer people, when you know about people's businesses, you're able to talk about them. And when people hear that you're talking about their business and referring them, they'll remember who you are and what you do, and they're more likely to. But really, it's just showing up. Sometimes we overcomplicate it, but dress professionally, brush your teeth, do your hair. I try to do my makeup when I'm going on an event. Just show up. I get there, I show up. I get to meet people, talk to people, see what's going on. And yeah, and actually, I don't know. Um, it was easier for me when my one of my friends was here, so we could go to those networking events together. But Washi was more like a networking guru. For me, sometimes a little bit too reserved. I just It takes time to talk to strangers. So what I think is, you go to those events so much every time that the people that you meet, you just keep talking to each other and you become friends. Maybe they'll invite you somewhere else. You kind of get to know them. Just by showing up, you become familiar with people. They become familiar with you. Um, and I think you just let that familiarity kind of break itself, and you break into. My teddy bear looks, and I have had that teddy bear for more than 10 years. I think, like, maybe since I was 9 years old, I've had this teddy bear. I've had this teddy bear. Like since I was like 7, 8, 9. Yeah. This is so crazy because I finished primary school. I had this teddy bear. I went to high school, I had this teddy bear. I went to college, I had this teddy bear. I moved from Kenya to the US. I had this teddy bear. I brought it with me. I have moved places, houses, all those years. This is the one thing I take everywhere. Oh, hi, Alex. How's your day going? Oh, I think I'm starting to get some vitality. I think I'm getting lively as we moving. Is the power of showing up to my live stream, my own my own live stream. If you have a YouTube channel, here's the thing. Here's the thing with like being on social media. No, this one I'm not selling. I'm not giving away. Like this is my one thing that I like. Like I'm not selling my teddy bear. I'm not giving him away as a present. No, this is my teddy bear was meant to be mine forever. It's my beloved teddy bear. Oh wow, that water is kind of giving me life. Yeah, so what was I saying? What was I talking about? My God, did I just forget what I was talking about? My train of thought again? Yeah, so I mean, for me, I've had to kind of like, that life can be very sobering sometimes, you know. Um, but mindset for me has always been like, this is how you're going to win in life, right? As a woman right now, I'm thinking I need to buy my own place, a place I can call my home, right? And that's a winning strategy for me. Yeah, I think it's always nice to have something constant in your life. So, um, yeah, I always feel like it's the one thing that has gone through like my own life experiences with me, and hey, it's me and my teddy bear. Bliss. Being single is tough. It's tough for a woman being single, going out on a date and stuff. Um, you really want to think that there is better people out there who can have relationships, like mature relationships, only to realize, no, actually. I don't know if I'm coming down on something or so in 2026, I want to build a website for my coaching classes, which is underway right now. I want to build a place, a community where people can share their goals, their wins, a place where there's a community. Um, I feel mental health, the biggest thing that we need is a sense of community. And that's what I want to do. I'll have a website for my mental health classes for people who want to build genuine confidence, people who want to find clarity. Um, if you have like weight loss goals, you know, just people who want to build that inner mindset that's more powerful than their circumstances. Because at the end of the day, is who we are on the inside that has to be bigger than what's on the outside. So I want to build a community of people who can learn to build their inner mindset so that they are able to conquer whatever goals that they have. That is 2026 goals. Yeah. Focusing on building my business pretty much. Mental health, coaching, career, mental health coaching, career self improvement. I don't give up my number. I if you want a free consultation, I do free consultations. You can book an appointment or you can email me at Monica at Post Traumatic Bliss. I mean, I'm building a community here, right? I show up on live. I talk about mental health. I talk about how we can fortify the person we have, the mindset, you know. Like today, we've been talking about important topics about like building self confidence and a mindset that builds self confidence. You know, you can say, "Hey, I wanna build self confidence," but having the mindset that actually builds the self confidence, that's the game changer. Having the mindset that builds the self confidence, you know, having, let's say you want to lose weight, right? Having the winning concept that helps people lose weight is actually going to be more beneficial than just showing up in the gym and then starting a yo-yo diet, right? Without really knowing what works and what doesn't work. You know? So sometimes we need to know things that will help us cut the corner. You want to cut the corner in life as much as you can in a way that works. You know, a lot of people who go to show up to the gym, they don't lose weight because they don't understand insulin. They don't understand how, you know, hormones affect how they eat, and how they eat affects their weight. You know, they don't understand like it's not about what you're eating so much, but even when you eat, right? Like, that's a game changer when you understand when I eat. Still, a lot of people, they will go out in the evening, grab chips and salsa, grab a diet coke, like do all these things that will wipe out the fact that they went to the gym in the morning, right? Because when you eat, it's also important. Like concepts that work can actually help you move further in life. And we're talking even things like finances, right? Concepts that work can bring you a breakthrough in your finances. Um, there's a reason why I decided to start building something, right? Because I know that if I start now building a community, right? If I start now, right now, you know, and my first year, nothing might happen. The second year, nothing might happen. Third year, nothing might happen. But hey, by the 10th year, something has to got to happen. Right? So the thing is, I'm not out here believing in myself. I'm out here believing in concepts that work, the mindset that wins. It doesn't matter what I do if I'm not following the mindset that wins at the end of the day. And investing your time early in your relationships, in your finances, in your career, in your business, putting in the time early. A lot of the YouTubers that you see now that are doing great, okay? They started back in 1999, 2000. Right now, you feel like they just suddenly blew up. No, they didn't just suddenly blow up. They started way ahead of the game. They started perfecting themselves in the game slowly by slowly, slowly by slowly. And guess what? Over time, they blow up. You want to give yourself that competitive advantage with time. That's why I tell people, hey, if you want to start a YouTube channel, you better start today. Okay? And you start now because you're going to suck, 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 get better, get better, get better, get better, get better, suck again, get better. It's going to be a journey, right? But guess what? Eventually, you're going to hit a high point, right? And you will not be able to go back to the level where you started from, right? Because you get better and better. Remember, we learn through repetition. The more I come here and connect with people, you know, the better I become able to connect with people about mindset, because for me, I'm all about mindset. I'm a single woman living in a foreign country, right? Life is stressful. It's not easy for me, but there are things that have helped me to stay sober. Like I say, I don't do drugs because I know doing drugs will go against my goals, right? And where I want to go, right? I want to stay youthful, strong, happy. So like I have decided to cut these these levels that I don't want to go, because I know that's not a winning strategy anywhere. I I I I don't do anything that will affect my ability to sleep at night, okay? Like anything that will disturb my conscience, we are not friends, right? I protect my mental health and my well-being. I if I go to a place, even a job, And I feel like these people are argumentative, they cause drama. I leave. I leave. My peace of mind is so more important because I know as long as my mind is peaceful, I'm a winning. That's my winning strategy. A peaceful mind. Like that kind of wisdom, I don't know who you will hear from. Like who will tell you that simple wisdom, you know? Like the only way you win in this life is not because of money. It's because you have that peace that comes with well-being, right? The peace that comes with your well-being, whether you are poor or rich, that is it right there. Hi, Jerry. Nice to see you. Guk, honey. Nice to see you. We got neutral in the house. Nice to see you. And Jari, hello, hello. Welcome to Post Traumatic Bliss. Feel free to share with us your wisdom, your knowledge, whatever it is that you have that has made you improve your mental health. For me, I don't gatekeep. I don't gatekeep about mental health because I love everybody to enjoy their life. I love everybody to find peace in their life. The peace that comes with well-being, the peace that nobody can take away from you, right? Uh, Jerry from England, right? Nice to see you again. So don't gatekeep, right? Like Jerry tell us, Gok tell us, what are the things that have worked for you in the environment or the country, in the place that you live, that has worked for you to help you with your mental health. For me, I do a lot of things because at the end of the day, mental health is a lot of things. There is no one thing that you can do. I mean, uh, that will solve all your mental health problems or make you live joyful, right? I mean, there are things that I recommend, like first and foremost, even if I'm not good at myself. For example, connecting with people, like genuine people who care about you, your mental health, your well-being, you know, that will be like the top number one, right? Because human beings, we are social beings. And a lot of stress comes when we don't have a sense of connection. I know this because I moved into a country, you know, and into a neighborhood, where I'm not able to make a lot of friends or great connections. It's safe, but it's hard to get to know people around here. And I left my girlfriends, my supportive base, moved to a new country because of this madness people call American dream. People telling you when you get education, you're going to change your life. I was young, so I believed that Kool-Aid, right? But those things don't make you happy, you know? And for me, it took me a lot to feel like, okay, I've finished my education, I've gotten a job, I'm getting paid. Why am I not happy? You know, why am I not happy? And it's a lot of things. Sometimes just not getting enough sunlight can depress you. Just like not getting enough sunlight, not having friends that can depress you, not being able to travel like can depress you. Uh, so it's not one thing, right? It's not one thing that you can do. Um, oh, guys, you guys need to try this drink, okay? Go buy some fresh mint flowers, right? Get some, uh, get some fresh mint. Add lemon and put a cinnamon stick, and then add hot water. You can let it steep, and you can even put some ginger and just take it. It's beautiful. You're gonna love it. It yeah, just like this weekend, I think this will be my drink this week because we're going to, yeah, it's almost going to be raining. So, like, it's a nice, cozy drink to have. The weather is good today. I mean, that place rains too much, but it makes your place look green and beautiful, and you probably have a lot of fresh food. I don't know. Maybe it rains too much. It's not very good for agriculture. Um, yeah, that's the joys of living in an island, I guess. Yeah, it rarely rains here in South California, so I'm kind of looking forward to the rain. I know. I'll probably need to get another job. It's very bad economy. Actually, I have thought about moving from my place. I like my place, but it costs me a lot. And so uh, because of my mental health, I'm usually not able to stay in a stressful work environment. And when I mean stress, I don't mean like the job, right? What I mean when it's the stress is like negative management or bosses. I'm never really able to deal with that. I don't know how you guys deal with your negative bosses, but for me, and I think it's because when you have an understanding about mental health and what it can actually do to your nervous system, you don't want to commit yourself in such environments. Whether it's a relationship that you have with your partner or it's a relation. Right now, I'm 100% okay with being single. Okay? Being single, living in a poor neighborhood, I have no problem with those things. I have a problem with living with somebody I don't like. I have a problem with working for a boss and helping them build a business and they're not good to me, right? Those are the kind of problems that I have, like genuinely problems. Yeah, living in a city is kind of nasty. I would love to live in a countryside. Yeah, peaceful and quiet. Some of those things that I'm coming to realize. You know, I didn't grow up in a typical I didn't grow up in a typical Kenyan life, okay? So I feel that my life was kind of taken away from me. And I feel that I haven't kind of grieved the life that was taken away from me. And I have to kind of just like, I feel like I became somebody that I wasn't even meant to become. when you feel like something happened in your life and you sort of became something else. You are meant to go this way, but you went that way. So this is what kind of happened to me. My parents died by the age I'm 6, right? So when you have parents, you have a home, you go to, you do things with your parents. you know you ride with your father maybe to his work, you see what he does, or you go on a trip with your mom, you learn how to cook. My mom had plans to show me how to be somebody who she wanted to buy these machines. She actually had bought a machine where you can make clothes and all that. So in my mind, like those are the things that I could have picked up from my parents. Whether my father had a business fixing cars, my mom was an entrepreneur. She bought this machine so she can start like doing clothes. So like I feel like those are the things I could have probably picked up from my parents, and I could have had a sense of community. I could have become this woman, right, who has neighbors, uh who has aunties, uncles, and who has like this life. But my parents die when I'm 6, and I go into an orphanage, right? And when you go into an orphanage, they were very protective. They were very protective because, now you're under their custody and it's an institution. So anything that happens to you, they'd be held liable. So one of the reasons that they did, I don't know. Anybody else feeling that my voice is low? Let us know. So, one of the reasons that they did at that home is they did not allow you to get out of the gate, right? You didn't get out of the gate because it's an institution. You're not getting out to go anywhere. And you don't understand how that does to your psychology, because it's kind of like you're in a prison that you did not choose. They're telling you this is to make you feel safe, but you don't get a sense of community. You don't have a church that you go to, outside of what they provide there. You don't meet new people in the neighborhood. You don't get to see the milkman. You don't get to see the guy that has a shop around the corner. You don't know all these people in your community, right? And I think part of the reason why I struggle with relationship is because I grew up with the mindset that I'm being protected from other people. So obviously, those people must be dangerous. And when I got out of that institution, most people were dangerous. Okay. Like the neighborhoods I ended up in Kenya, because you understand, like I also did not have parents, so I did not start off by living with like best, like good neighborhoods, right? Those people were also not good. So that kind of psychology did a number on me. And that's why I feel like there's this woman I could have become, and I will never meet that woman that I would have become if my parents um did not pass away at such a young age. I feel like I need to mourn this woman I could have become, because I think she would have been the happier version of me. Um, you know, having being well connected with your family, your friends, having a sense of community. So anyway, we're talking about living that countryside life. I would I wish I had experienced that kind of a life, like that kind of countryside feel of a life. For me, it's still a dream. And when something is a dream, you sort of kind of fantasize it. You kind of make it look like the fantasy can be so alluring, like, oh, it's a fantasy, like I would love to, be in a countryside, have a sense of community, know the milkman, know the lady who has a corner shop, like this ideal lifestyle in my head. But it could just be a figment of my imagination. Whatever that I'm thinking and the reality could be way removed from each other, right? And so it's always that, do you really want to live in the countryside, or do you like the modern conveniences of a modern life, right? I think there's a security that comes from being able to own your own home, live your own life. That's what I think. You guys, you need to contribute to these discussions. But nice to see you. I live on a farm 1 hour outside city. It's always great opening my gate after a long day at work. Oh wow. See, if you live away from the city like 1 hour, it's not a bad deal at all. Living in a farm is beautiful. I feel like that's the ideal lifestyle that most people are looking for. But some don't even know that's what they want. That's so true. City living and country living so different. When I left the city for country, I got depression for a while. Now, absolutely love it. Oh, wow. Yeah, there are things that you will enjoy with the countryside, the fresh air. Richard, nice to see you. Richie has entered the building. Shout out, right? Shout out, shout out, shout out, shout out to Richie. Nice to see you. Yeah. And that environment, right? Mental health is also a lot about the environment that you're in. Yeah, the peace of mind that comes with it, for sure, 100%, because of the environment you're in. It's quiet, it's peaceful, there's fresh air. When it rains, you can feel the raindrops. without the constant interference of the airplane. Like, yeah, sometimes, yeah, I live in kind of like a very modern place, and it's depressing because, okay, when you live in California, a lot of people move into California from all over the world than other places of the US. Very few people are actually born here in California. So, you know, so people don't really trust each other. Like, I'm not good at chit chatting. Like, if I go do my nails, I'm not good at chit chatting with the guy or the people who make my nails. Like, I'm really like, like, there's no sense of trust or community. Yeah, yeah, I like that. I like that too. In the city, people are very, very materialistic. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 100, 100. And life is expensive in the city. So, yeah, I've been kind of thinking maybe I want to change the environment, but I'm still not sure where to go. Something caught my attention. I like that. There's a lot you can learn from people here. When we talk about mental health and the environment, a peaceful environment will create a peaceful mind. And you cannot deny those things like 100%, right? Um, so if you're thinking about why maybe you're having stress in your life or something is not working, the quickest thing that I can ask you to do is look at your environment. There is something stressing you in your environment. It could be your environment at work, it could be your environment at home. But on your own, you rarely disturb yourself. Okay? It's quite all very hard for you to just sit there and disturb yourself. If you're getting dysregulated by stress, there's a stressor in your environment, right? And you have to figure out how to conquer that stressor in your environment. For me, for example, I've been saying I probably move out from this place. I like my place. I like, you know, it's not too, I'm not so far from the beach. It doesn't get too hot, but it's expensive, right? It's a stressor. It's a stressor in a way that I would like to have a roommate, but I also don't want to have a roommate. I would like to have a roommate to co-share, but I don't like living with people. Right? Like, um, but like those are the things, right? I'd like to start my own coaching business, right? I also do not like working for other people who are mean. Like, you gotta, like, then I put myself in a bind, but at least I know the environment, right? What is causing the stressors in my life? I don't know what's causing any stress in your life. Maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's finances, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's your health, right? But there has to be something in the environment. Remember, when other things, like whether it's an organism, Like if an animal is not thriving, you can't blame the animal for not thriving. You have to look at the environment and figure out, why is this animal not thriving in this environment, right? Let's say even small things, right? If you go and you find like, oh, the elephants are dying. Why are they dying? Are they on a drought season? Is this something making them sick in the environment? Is this water that they are not able to access? There has to be something in the environment. And the same way with human life, right? If you're not thriving, there has to be something in your environment that's causing you not to thrive. Maybe things like racism, sexism, like all these things, right? It could be something toxic in the environment that's causing you not to thrive. On your own, in an environment that's thriving, you naturally thrive, right? You naturally thrive. And it's good to have this kind of mindsets to protect yourself. Exactly. Once you can get to understand yourself and you're not afraid, once you can get to understand yourself and you're not afraid of enjoying your own company, you end up being a joy, because once your inner self says, I don't want to be here, you'll do something else, right? Exactly. You're going to do something else. For me, there is no winning when your environment is not bringing you joy. Like there is no winning. I was working with this boss, and I noticed like he was kind of like Donald Trump. He will throw a tantrum. He will talk something bad. If things don't go his way, then he thinks he has the right to scream, shout, to belittle all those things. And I was like, I am not happy here, you know? And I left because there is no winning for me if I'm in an environment and I'm not happy and feeling safe. There is no winning. Like you have wiped out any reason for me to want to be here. Like, you know what I mean? You have wiped out all the reasons that I need to be there, because you're making it difficult for me emotionally to be there. And that's the only reason I need for me to walk out. Like, because when you're in an environment and you're not winning, first of all, they're not paying you enough money to continue with your lifestyle, and then they're mean. And for me, that was very, very confronting. It was very confronting. Like, why should I waste my time helping somebody build a business and they are mean to me? They're not even trying to help me be happy in the work environment that I'm spending so much time. If I am going to be unhappy, then I know I'm losing. And I don't have any other reasons to be in an environment that's making me unhappy, that's making me sick. Because this is what a lot of people don't get. When you're not happy, you become sick, right? Your emotions are like the water of life or death, right? When you're constantly in an environment that's stressing you out chronically, that's how we get sick. You got high blood pressure, you cannot sleep, you cannot digest your food properly, you're dreading to wake up the next day, you start forgetting things, you know, you start building frustration and resentment. When you understand mental health and you understand like this is a road I don't want to go down, right? I don't want to wake up and go into this abusive work environment that at the end of the day, I feel like I want to drink alcohol or I want to smoke. So just to feel the pressure going down, right? No, I will remove myself from that environment because I don't want to drink and I don't want to smoke and I don't want to have to self regulate myself constantly in an environment that's causing dysregulation of my nervous system. These are the things that I like people to learn. And that's why I'm passionate about teaching mental health. Because if your environment is constantly dysregulating you, throwing you out of balance, throwing you out of homeostasis, then you're not gonna win. Okay? You're losing very, 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 very quickly. You have to understand like this environment has zero value for you. Mr. Miyagi says that true that. I did that my old job. An elderly man told me something that changed my view. Said, not all money is good money, especially when getting it means you lose yourself. Let that sink in. Let it sink. Please, if you come to my channel, let that sink in, right? That is true. An elderly man told me something that changed my view. He said, not all money is good money, especially when getting it means you lose yourself. That's why you don't pick jobs. Like there's a reason why we choose not to be thieves, prostitutes, or whatever, right? Because those are jobs that you lose yourself. But I'm here to tell you, as much as those jobs are bad, being with somebody that's psychologically abusive to you because they are your boss, right? Because they are your boss, try, try to go find something else you can do for yourself, right? Maybe try to look for another opportunity, maybe save some money or fundraise yourself for some money, buy a car, start a moving transport business, or buy one of those cars where you can sell pizza, you know or do your car washing business, find your own clients, right? Build something for yourself instead of going to work for people, building their life, building their legacies, building their prosperity for their generation to generation to generation, and they treat you like shit. That's not a good way to honor your life. It's not a good way to honor your life. At least honor the life in you, right? For me, that was very confronting. It's still very confronting. Like, I do not want to go to work with people, work for people, help them build their legacy, their family businesses, and then they are treating me like shit. Mm-mm. All money is not good money, even to the point of a person who calls himself liking you and decides to buy you lavish gifts, money, etc. Sometimes it's best to reject it at the door. And I think that's how a lot of people get abused by all these narcissists, right? They love bomb them with lavish gifts, money. I've seen so many ladies um on the internet here, uh, on this internet, they say, I was love bombed. And then he turned, right? Like you were love bombed by somebody and then they turn. And then you become suddenly the worst enemy, right? Or maybe all these older guys who are looking for younger women to prey on them, are not just even women, right? They are young men, like uh there's this man who's on the internet. He was talking about this company Abercrombie and and Fink, right? they were trafficking young models, like men models. They were trafficking them. And that's how exactly they do it. They tell you, oh, you're a model, you're handsome. And you know, all these people who are beautiful, they like to be flattered about how beautiful they are. They'll give them gifts. They'll tell them, oh, you need to meet this person or that person. They start dragging them, you know, they start sexually harassing them. And, you know, you're like, so if I don't agree to all this, they're going to take away my car they gave me. They're going to take away the clothes that they bought me. You know, I, I have to take up a 9 to 5, and I'm used to all this luxury. Yeah, they love bomb you. The devil, the devil sees miles ahead. The devil is bad. He sees miles ahead. Exactly. We've been programmed that chasing what is loved is overshadowed by the power of what they see fit for you. Mhm. This is the wickedness we are living in. The devil sees miles and miles away. When he's destroying your life, oh, oh, right? And there's nothing bad like a narcissist, because he will show you the world to get you in, but the moment he's done with you, the narcissist knows how to discard you like you're a cardboard that has no life and meaning. Like the package was delivered, and what now? you know, they discard you like you're yesterday's newspaper. Mm? And it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Even your boss, those narcissistic bosses, they will discard you like you were yesterday's newspaper. So they make you live in this environment that's negative, right? And then they're threatening you. If you do this, you might lose your job. You do this, you might, they get somebody better, you're replaced, and they are done with you. You might as well leave when you still have your dignity and time intact to do something else that's meaningful with your life. They discard you like you're old news. Mm, right? That's why it's really not worth it. For me, when I look at that situation and I weigh in all the things that you could be doing with your life, all the other chances that you could be doing, other things that you could be trying to do with your life, I absolutely see that these people, they are a waste of time. They are a waste of your precious time. You could be doing something else. You could be on your 10th trial of your failure, because you have to fail, 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 succeed. They're just wasting your precious time on your failing venture until something else happens. Yeah, I think it's good to become a stoic in this life right now. You know, stoic people don't fear poverty, they fear their loss of dignity. Right? Like, and self-love and self-respect. Beyond that, they can lose everything else, right? It's not worthy losing yourself. It's not worth it. For me, what I know here as a mental health advocate, I would say this is the mindset to start with. Like, this is the line you draw at the very bottom. Like, this is where I'm starting. This is my starting point. And there will be no compromises with your happiness and your well being. And there will be no losing yourself. The society out here is trying to break us into being so shameless that we no longer have any kind of self-respect for ourselves, right? Yeah, it's just trying to break us. Like, you would do anything for money. You would work for a boss that's constantly belittling you, abusing you emotionally. Like, this environment is trying to break us. It's like when you choose a sober and healthier life, then shame, you are a few years later, they're the ones reaching out and thinking you're making money, only to find out you just chose yourself. That's why. But you choose a sober, healthier life, then a few years later, yeah, people will think like, oh, this person is doing so much better in their life. They're making more money. They're doing well. I'm like, dude, I just stopped drama. I just stopped drinking. I just I just chose the better side of life. I know that looks like I am making so much money, but you don't know how much class you have for just choosing good mental health, like a healthy lifestyle. You know, that's the $1 million lifestyle. You become so much wealthy because you decided, I'll eat healthy, I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna have friends that are like, people who are just going to have this wealthy lifestyle. You know, when I mean wealthy lifestyle, I'm not saying go buy a Gucci bag. I'm saying a wealthy lifestyle that builds wealth, right? When you have good health is your biggest asset, right? That's a healthy lifestyle. You don't drink, you're not competing with people, you're not out there flashing things with people. Like, you're reserved in your own way. You don't have all these things to prove to other people, right? Because there is nothing like, I'm not going to come here on YouTube and to try to attract people on my channel, start buying things I cannot afford, right? Like, start showing off things that I don't own, right? I drive a Honda, I have it like for 2020, like since like more than 10 years ago, okay? I'm not flashing it, right? I'm not going to go and like, I'm trying to build this social media community and do all this crazy stuff, like buy things that I'm not even, things that I cannot even afford. Like, you know, um, crazy, crazy stuff, right? Um, I don't need to be in competition with people on this social media. Let me tell you, there are people who have so much money, you cannot compete with them. They will go tonight, they'll go out and they'll order a bottle of wine that's like $60,000. $60,000, that's a decent income for most of us. There are people who can blow that on a stupid bottle of wine. Man, sometimes you're better staying alone. This is what, like, I have come to notice. Like, I live alone, right? I live alone. I don't have a lot of friends. Um, I have noticed, I love my family, but they're living their life. They have kids. They have, like, I am a single woman. I don't have kids. Most of my family members, they have children. They got a busy life going on, right? So sometimes I call them, sometimes they call me, but it's usually like after some time, right? Like, you know, and I have noticed being alone is not so bad. Like, I feel loneliness that comes with, like, there's negative loneliness and there is aloneness, right? There is a difference. And I think I have mastered the alone one that doesn't come with loneliness. Once in a while, I wish, I feel like, it would be nice that if I had, you know, like people that I wake up every day and I hear their voices and arguments and whatever. But again, I'm like, I call my friends who have kids and they're like, I gotta go cook, I gotta go do this, I gotta go do that. And I'm like, okay, they are probably lonely because of all these things that they are going through by themselves. And you know, it's something like to think of. Like you have your kids, you have to do everything for them, nobody's helping you. Yes, you're surrounded by people, but you're alone. But you're lonely, right? But you can be alone and you're not surrounded by all these busy people in your life and you don't feel lonely. I'm gorgeous today. Thanks, Jerry. A kid, the more you work on yourself, you actually become more wealthy in self-discovery, health, mentally strong. People take working on yourself for granted. A lot of people don't know the power that they have. 100. A lot of people don't know the power they have once they choose themselves. Like it sounds crazy, but choosing yourself is where the power is. When you choose, I want to be happy, that's the boundary you're giving life. I'm going to be happy and I'm going to take 100% responsibility for my happiness. People will be shocked. Like, people will be shocked that you are willing to walk away from environments that don't meet your standards. When I was working in that environment and I walked out that day because my boss was being rude to me, he was very shocked. He was very shocked because he did not think that, I'm 100% sure, he did not think that I had made standards for myself about the environments that I can work in and the environments that I cannot work in. You know, um, like I think he must have thought like she is desperate for any kind of treatment in this kind of environment, right? People don't actually think that you can choose yourself, right? Like we don't understand the power we have when we choose ourselves, because you're like, with my 2 feet I'm walking away from this environment. I am going to choose not to eat this. I am going to choose not to drink. If you're a drinking friend and I have to choose between my friendship with you or my health, I'm choosing my health, so our friendship is over. Like people don't understand the power that you have when you become the CEO of your life, right? You're firing people in and out of your presence, right? Because you're choosing yourself. A lot of people don't understand the amount of power they have. Miyagi says, I fear being alone in a crowded room more than when I'm actually alone because I choose to be. Yeah. You can be surrounded by people and feel all alone and feel lonely and you're surrounded by people. There are times when I was surrounded by a lot of people and I was feeling lonely, and those are the times where I just wanted to connect with God. I just really just wanted to go out somewhere and pray, just so I can feel some sort of connection with the divine, because like the people that I am around, they're not able to give me that connection. Yeah. But again, like when you start choosing and loving yourself, man, it's a game changer. Like it's a game changer because now you are the one setting the tone and the boundaries for any kind of relationship you're ever going to get into, whether it's at work or your friendships or a personal relationship. You're the one setting the tone because you have decided how you how you want to live. There are people that I can't date, okay, personally, because of the way they eat, their lack of, like, they don't want to work out and take care of their body. If they smoke, that's a no. Like all these things, like if somebody does not love themselves, I also do not want to love them. Sounds very harsh, but look, if you don't love yourself, I also don't want to love you. If you don't want to take care of yourself, you don't want to understand nutrition, you don't want to understand, you don't have basic self-care, you don't have boundaries about the people that should be your friend, right? You're like, oh, we're just here loving everybody. No, no, because I'm not about here loving anybody. So, like, for me, there are people I can't date. And if that takes me to be single, then so be it. So be it, right? Um, I just don't want more drama. The only thing that I am going to protect myself is my mind, is my number one asset. My mental health, my well-being is my number one asset. I am not compromising with anybody on that front. This whole world is trying to make you compromise because that's the only way the enemy can get into your life and steal from you, when you compromise those boundaries, right? Don't do it for yourself. For yourself, don't do it. Bruce is like, couldn't agree with you anymore. Mr. Miyagi says that's a bit harsh, but the truth was never meant to be sugarcoated. It's too much work. Too much work. It's too much work. Because how are you gonna live, you know, like with a partner when you're like, oh, let's go eat something. They don't want the healthy version. And then they feel judged, they are going to feel like you're judging me because of the way I look, because I have weight. Dude, I'm not judging you. If you eat like shit, you're eating shit. Like I don't want to have those arguments in my life. I want to protect my brain cells, right? So we are either in harmony or we are out of sync. And that is fine, because I could make you just as miserable as you could make me miserable, me telling you to live healthy and you not wanting to live healthy, right? We could just as easily make each other very, very miserable. I could be right on this one, but the misery is not worth it. Would I be wrong for saying that if you're not taking care of yourself, I won't either? Simply because I feel you're selfish because once you fall sick, who must worry about you? Isn't that the crux of the situation? Like the people, oh, so you get married to somebody, you don't want to take care of your health, and so you get sick, right? Now I have to be the caregiver of this idiot who does not want to take care of themselves. Now, this is dragging you down with them. This is how people drag you down with them. So, for you, you are taking care of yourself so that you can go enjoy the sunshine, go for trips, enjoy life. And then this idiot decides to live a life where, they can't move out of bed. And so you have to stay there like a fool beside them, being their caretaker. Oh, hell no. Mm-mm. No, I'll be like the Nigerians. God forbid. I like Nigerians, they're very expressive. God forbid I take care of God. God forbid mm, I take care of an idiot who does not like to take care of himself. Instead of going out to the beach and getting my vitamin D, instead of getting on a plane and going to Brazil or France or India, mm, or the Great Britain, I stay there to take care of you. God forbid. I like Nigerians, they're so expressive. They'll be like, idiots. I'm not going to take care of you. You see the way you eat. You don't work out. You don't exercise. You're always on the couch. Mm? Nobody can remove you from there. You're glued. You're glued to that chair. And you want me to come take care of you. It's Nigerian movies. They're like, let me tell you, I like Nigerian movies because Nigerian movie, the acting is very direct. Okay, it's not like those psychological thrillers where like you don't know what this person is thinking. No, 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 no. Nigerian movies, there's no guessing. There's no guessing. The confrontation is usually very straightforward. Uh, let me see. Have you come and brewed for my man? Speak! Enough! I asked you a question and I need an answer. Where is all this coming from? I'm talking to you, damn it! What have you told my man? What I don't do you for this life? As I be your friend, a bad thing. And you go tell and say me. I dey do akuna walk. I shower walk me. No be you for marriage. Wait. Nigerian movies are very I know they go. Nigerian movies are very, very direct. Hmm? Yaba, come down here. I don't care about who or whatever it is you are. The only person I care about is Collie. You want to know why? When I was down and out and doing drugs, Collie was the only one who stood by me. For 3 days, he stayed by my side till I came back alive. Do you remember when your father beat Collie to coma just because he thought he loved you? Well, I didn't know him then. You didn't know him when you were telling him you loved him, but yet you were sleeping with Chris? Well, I just got carried away for a moment. If Colin didn't get that job, if Colin's life didn't change for the better, would you have aborted the pregnancy you had for Chris? Let me tell you, Nigerian movies is like Nigerian life. There's no sugarcoating things. It's it's right there. Um, you would not be wrong at all, Mr. Miyagi. I love the way you snap your fingers. Okay, do I don't think I've ever seen a Nigerian movie. I think society doesn't want us living alone because being on my own has opened my mind on self-sabotage and accountability because at this age we all know what we're doing. Um yeah, yeah, Nigerians are very, very expressive. Society doesn't want you to live alone because they don't want you opening your eyes. Like when you live in a materialistic environment, obviously they want to make you feel that you can't possibly be happy without the best of the best, right? Like you see the celebrities, they have all these diamonds, they have all this makeup, the hair, they're looking great, right? Society doesn't want you to feel like you can somehow be happy without all those things. But when you live alone, guess what happens? You detox. You detox from other people telling you you're not beautiful enough, you're not good enough, you don't have this and that. When you live alone, you really don't, you go back to the basics of life and you're not in comparison with anybody. You have a moment to appreciate, life, to be grateful. They don't want you to wake up to that reality, you know, because when you live alone, who are you comparing yourself with? Nobody. When I live alone, as much as people say, oh my God, you're a woman, you don't have kids, you don't have all these, guess what? When I live alone, my reality is I don't have children. That's the reality that I live in. I don't have anything to compare myself with another reality, right? And oddly, those fears that you fear, like people tell you you're going to regret, you're going not to do, you actually start seeing, okay, that's what they thought. They were projecting those thoughts on you, but you're like, this is not the experience. Like, this is not the reality. Um, right? I never live or try to live beyond my needs. And we have very few needs. And we have very few needs. We have, if you have love in your life, you have somebody that loves you in your life, you're lucky. If you have food, water, and a place to sleep in this life, you're very, very lucky. All those other things, they're extra drama. It's all extra, it's all drama. And you really come to the realization that you don't need much. And when I live alone, another thing that has made me realize is, like, if somebody doesn't come into my life to bring joy, to bring happiness and a level of self-awareness, I'd rather just live by myself. Like, you create standards. I think this is where you create boundaries and standards. Once you taste the sweetness of living by yourself and that peace of mind that comes with it, you're like, oh my God, this is so addicting. this is so nice. It's just so peaceful. It's very hard to let go that. It's very hard to let go of that just to be with somebody like anybody. It's very difficult. Yeah, I say that especially especially I think for women, once you get used to, living by yourself, the peace that comes with that is really difficult to just want to be in a relationship. Like a lot of people, just them living their life, the way they are living, will not qualify to be in your life. And it's good to know that that's a good thing. My question to them would be, who said a woman living alone or kids isn't living her life to the fullest? Because in Norway, was there a woman that died and came back to say, I regret it? Most women, most women don't regret it. I know women who don't want to have kids so much, they went and had a complete tying of the tubes, right? Like they don't want kids at any point in their life. They already know, right? They already know that they have kids. And I understand, like there are people who are like that. Um, like for me, I was open to having kids, but I was also open to not having. Yeah, I'm here neutral. Somebody has to do the work of of creating a mental health community. And I don't mind that being me, because right now I don't have a job, right? I don't mind building a community of people who love mental health, who love to stay at the top of their game. Wait till that website comes in. Once we get the website done, um one of the things that I want on that platform is ability for people to form a community, and kind of like on Facebook, you can ask questions about something, like you're doing like mental health, and share with the community what you're doing to enhance your mental health, or have a question putting out for the community for people to answer uh answer those questions for you, or something, or a discussion or a topic. Like I want us to have that sense of a community. So that's the community that I'm envisioning, that we are going to build. I'm very passionate about mental health, as you guys know. Like, um, but it's a community. We build it together and help other people, because we all know why it's important at this age, at this time, for millennials, Gen Zs, Gen Alpha. I am just making an egg to prioritize mental health. Like, it's going to be the thing our generation has to do. So I was breaking out. So yesterday I washed my makeup brushes. Makeup makeup brushes take a long time to dry. So I'm kind of putting them out here to dry, because you can't really put them in a dryer. You can't You can't dry your makeup brushes that way. Abiola, where in Uganda? Uh, to be honest, there are no flies here. I rarely see any. I'm not against having families, but I also am not against being alone because I feel some things about how life should be are programmed outcomes. You find a millionaire who spent years in school and find a billionaire who dropped out of school, right? That should tell you that you can't live life as black and white sometimes. You must find your own colors. People say me that I've had so many people ask me, "Are you a model?" I thought people were joking in the beginning, but I've been asked so many times now. I'm starting to believe, like, oh, these guys are not joking. Some cloves. Take some more water. I always find that the people who have a courage, like I think the standards of the system are the standards they give us. Go get a job. Like the system's standard is go sit in a classroom, okay? Waste your childhood. And then go sit in a cubicle, waste your adulthood, and then die. Hello? I think that's the morbid standard of this narcissistic system that we live in. Like, I don't know how we created this system, but I'm not a, to be honest, I'm not a big fan of the systems that we have created. And It's you know, when they show you the pyramid, like the way they show you the pyramid, and they tell you at the bottom we have all these people who are working, and at the top we have the few people. That's the system that we are in right now. Like, it's the system. And if you stay at the bottom of that system, you actually just die of the stress, right? You die of the stress. Um, the let's say the let's say like the slaves, they used to work until like flesh tore away from their bone, right? That's like the system where like you work so hard that flesh tears from your bone. And everybody that's working, right? Most of the stress will go to the people at the bottom, right? Because it's a system of putting the burden on somebody else. Like, it's a beast of burden system. Anyways, I don't know what you guys um think about those systems. What do you think about the systems that we live by? So I read somewhere that that I think it was in the Catholic faith where they say you give them the child before the child is you give them the child before the child is 7 years old, right? Because that's when a child is highly programmable, and that's when they program the child. So you see, our system is so concerned on your child's attendance in school, right? Because they want to train that child in a way to be a slave of that system, right? So they have to attend school without fail 100%, so that they can be able to sit in a cubicle or in a factory, because that's what's needed. Okay. I Call me cynical. Better you spend your life chasing money only to retire and spend that money to save what is left of your doctor's appointment. Of your life savings in doctor's appointments, right? You could have invested in a good lifestyle and not needed all that. I think we have been miseducated on purpose. And then, and then, you know, you become so grateful for the oppression and the oppressive. You become so grateful for the oppressive system, because that's the system that you know, right? And you think they're doing you a great favor by giving you jobs that pay low wages, that don't even take care of you and your family, because they conditioned you to accept less for yourself. Right. And to be totally grateful. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get this system. Once you are conditioned, you have no choice but to carry on. Hence, they love when you buy on credit, you know, credit phones. Yeah. Will get you hooked and enslave you. Hello? What's my take on religion? I think most people who practice religion, they're hypocrites, but if you're a genuine seeker, it kind of gives you a very straightforward way of living your life. You know, like if you have the humility to be led by the word of God, it can really work for you. Um, but religion can be a dangerous thing. I mean, you've seen it. It is dangerous, right? Um, you just have to see like what's happening with Israel and the way they've weaponized their ideologies is very, very dangerous, right? There's a time Islam practiced jihad, like holy war, and they spread it across the world where if you did not convert, they'd kill you. Hi, Mritian. Yeah. So, but on a personal level, like when you ask to love yourself and love others, that's basics of good mental health. When you ask not to drink, not to take drugs, that's basics of good mental health. You know, there's even religion, not that it has to say this, it tells people don't sleep with animals, you know. I mean, I think it's because people did that at some point, right? Like, um, I think it has it has its place in trying to civilize men, but it's not always successful. It's one thing that has really backfired. Like, oh, it's one of those things that has can really backfire. Like here in America, I think it's really backfired because people don't care about religion at a personal level, but they use it as a political level and weaponize it the right weaponizes it at a political level. But majority of the people, they're hypocrites. Whatever they say they are Christian about, they're not Christians. Like, the defining quality of a Christian is loving your neighbor as you love yourself. Yeah, this is not what's happening in the politics. So yeah, it's a lot of hypocrisy. Again, go back to um, a lot of there being a lot of hypocrisy. But on a personal level, if somebody really wanted guidance and they were a genuine seeker, like the way most Buddhism, like a lot of Buddhists are kind of like genuine seekers of the truth. They're seeking the truth. Um, I guess religion can give you the truth, but it can give you a way of life that could work for you. If you live with the people in the same religion and you love it, it can give you a mindset that you can meet with similar people. So for me, I'm a Christian, and I have noticed, like, in the dating market, if somebody is like Buddhist or they say they're spiritual or stuff like that, they're okay with sleeping around with different people, most of them, right? A genuine Christian doesn't like that. Like, Christians that are like Christian, like genuine seeking Christians, they don't, they're put off by sleeping around. Um, like, in that sense. Okay, help me out. Am I reaching if I say all religions are extended branches from Catholic Church? Why I say that history shows almost everyone lost a part of their history except for them. I really don't know about the Catholic faith. I have a lot of doubts about like the Catholic, the fact that this church, okay, like most churches, is ruled by men who claim to be celibate, but we all have heard of the scandals in the Catholic Church, right? Um, they pray through Mary, so it's very different from the Christian faith. In the Christian faith, Mary is not regarded as kind of like a god that you pray to. Christians pray to Jesus. Whether you're praying through a woman, whether you're praying through another man, like for me, I don't. You do you. I just think it's a lot of messy doctrine. Um, yeah. But the Catholic faith has done a lot of things. It has built hospitals, schools. It has its own history that is good too. I mean, I just think I don't know. It's too much for me. At this point in my life, if I want wisdom or if I feel like my spirit is weak, I'll go read the Bible or listen to a sermon. But I'm not going to follow anybody's way of life, right? I'll let the spirit guide me, but I'm not going to follow anybody's way of life. Hi, Sally. Salima. Hello. Yeah, I feel like if I have like how like Catholics do convert, that you have to convert to a certain religion, then you have to go through all these things. Like I'm like, why do I have to convert to anything in my life right now? Like, why can't you just let me be me? Because remember back in my day, temples were a place for scholars who recorded history, and most other religions have some parts erased yet. For the boy lovers, the history is intact. So yeah, they have a huge history. Like, I mean, even the time of Christ, right? They were still the Catholic Church was still there, and I think in the history of the Christianity, a lot of people believe the Antichrist is going to come from the Catholic faith. I don't know why Christians think that way, but they think the whole faith of the Catholic is blasphemous. Is like is blasphemy. Never lose your identity. Always say yourself, your beautiful personality and beautiful woman. I think it's a privilege and a luxury to be yourself in this life, to stay true to yourself, to get to know who you are, to, to sit with yourself, realize the things you like, realize the things you don't like, realize the company you want to keep, realize the company you don't want to keep. It's a big privilege and a blessing. You want to protect that. Every religion says they are the chosen ones. Every religion tells you, do not look at this other religion or go there, or do not go this way and look at what those other people are thinking. And I think they do it for good reasons. They don't want they don't want to confuse their children. They want to raise them in a certain way, and they want that to be consistent in terms of culture, in terms of the things that they know. And you see how dangerous it is. For example, um because like Africans, we did not write our religious beliefs, we did not write them. It's so easy for another people to come and give you your religion and dominate them, because they are giving you their idea and their mindset and using that against you to destroy you. Is very easy. It's done for good reasons. In Kiswahili we say the person who loses their way becomes a slave, right? Like if you lose your way of life, you're going to be enslaved by whoever you're yielding your mindset to. Um, and so you can see that, for example, like me, I was raised a Christian. Oh, I was raised a Christian, and I would have preferred to know whatever religion my ancestors knew that made them prevail through all those difficult times and evolution. I would have loved to know what they believed, like whatever God they believed in. I think He did such a wonderful job for them too, right? But now we are stuck with Christianity. It means that my ancestors were not able to determine my thinking because they yielded it to somebody else. They didn't influence me in that way. Now I'm stuck with Christianity. But at least I'm smart enough to see that I'm stuck with something, you know, because the human mind wants to believe in a God or something during hard times. And people who believe in a God actually do better than people who don't believe in a God. I see how that works. Um, this is important of history to write for yourselves, to create mindset for yourself. I always tell people like create channels for yourself and things that you believe in, because like especially on the internet, all these things that I put on the internet, I know they'll be there for a long time. And people will know, even if I died tomorrow, I don't know who will be watching my channel, but it'll be there. People will know there was this Black woman. She had come from Kenya. She was living in the US, and this is what she was going through. Mayagi says that's very true. Interesting. And hopefully, you know, they can have a different way of thinking that's not ruled by the system or determined by the system. But I tell you, this system is getting tighter and tighter. You know, they're starting to do these facial facial recognition things. I think when I go to the airport or public spaces, I'll be putting on a mask. You know, like the COVID one, because they're starting to do these facial recognitions. And what they'll do, they'll start putting these things on on the streets, on the cameras. And so, you know how like on Google or maybe on your phone, they want you to do to recognize to open your passwords by your face. I'm not going to use my face for facial recognition because your face is not a secret, you know. So don't use like opening your phone. Do not use your phone like facial recognition. Your face is not a secret. I could go and take a photo of you because your face is everywhere on the internet or whatever, and you have used your face as a password. I just need your photo. Ding. And then I blocked all your accounts. Your face is everywhere. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, we got social media. At least if you used your, you don't even want to use, you just use a regular password. You don't even want to use your fingerprints, because what if somebody takes a photo of, let's say, your wife or whatever, your kids? They can easily get a photo of your fingerprints, like your of your hands, and open your accounts for you. Like, I know this lady, she was saying that her husband was cheating on her. And so when he was sleeping, she just took a photo of him and opened his phone because he was using facial recognition. And she goes through and she sees like this guy is cheating on me. Like last time when he told me he was at work, he was actually seeing this woman in a hotel, you know, like she don't use this. This will not protect your account. Your face is everywhere. And they're going to be using artificial recognition cameras and putting them on the streets everywhere. So it means anybody, if you use your face, anyone can literally hack your phone. Hmm? Getting messy, right? So that this system is going to be very, 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 very tight. So there are these texts in the book of Revelation that says that eventually the world creates this system that those religious texts, I think somebody got a revelation of this system. It was actually, they say Jesus had this revelation that they were going to create a beast system. A beast system is you're not able to access money unless you have something like a number, like maybe it's like a barcode or whatever on your forehead or your wrist, right? And before that seems to be like, that was interesting, right? Like I always thought that was interesting. But now with the technology that's coming up, I'm like, oh shit, this is actually very, very possible in the near future, because we already have digital currency, we have biometrics, we have all these things. They can put a chip in your brain. Stuff like that is now possible, right? What if they have like this facial recognition, they match it with a chip that they put on your whatever, right? Like even right now, digitally, right? If you have to use your face to access your account, now they know everywhere you are, you know? They know exactly when you accessed your phone and you were there and it was you, you know? They know how many minutes you went to the grocery store and how much time you spent there, right? Because guess what? When you're taking a phone, when you're using your phone, it's not just capturing your phone, it's also capturing, other things around you and where you are, your location. And it's fitting. So it is possible that the elite who own everything, they feel they own you and me. They, the last job that I quit, I had this feeling that the boss, because we had this company thing for the holiday, and so everybody came with your family. You had a plus one, you come with your family member or whatever. I went with one of my friends, Gracie. But my boss, I don't know, I gave me this feeling when he was looking at people, he was like, yeah, we are the owners. But in my, like the way I felt it, he was like, I own these people. Like these are my employees. I own them. Like that's how, that's how he was thinking. It wasn't like I own this company and these people come here to work. He had like this slave master mindset, like I own these people who work for me in this company. That's how he framed it, like, because you can feel the energy when people say things and how they are behaving. So that wasn't lost to me. So I know that all these elites, the way they are thinking is we own these people. Definitely. We own, like, Bezos is thinking, I own everybody in this company. I feed their families. I own these motherfuckers. I own them. Yeah, that's how they are thinking. Don't for 1 minute think that they're thinking, oh, it's so nice that you come and work for us. No, they're thinking we own you. And if you don't work here, you're going to go somewhere else that someone else is going to own you. That's how they think. I was visiting my sister. She studies in China. In the big cities, they can track all your movements on what street you took. Oh my goodness. Exactly. The more we search, the more we get to see that there is big piece to the puzzle on our history. Never mind race. That's missing, right? It's like these new phones we use are tracking everything. We showed that even when it's off, it's actually not to a degree. Yeah, you see, like when I'm here and I'm not using my Apple computer over there, that Apple computer sometimes lights up on its own. It's kind of like it's listening to me. It'll just light up on its own. And I'm like, I didn't touch that computer. I'm here doing my live. Why is this shit like lighting up and shutting down, lighting up and shutting down? Like even my phone, when I haven't used it for a long time, it'll kind of like light up if I'm talking or doing something. I'm like, these motherfuckers, they are really tracking us all the time. Yes. Yeah. Exactly, Jack, right? That's why the owners almost always got a bad attitude. Yeah, because they're not seeing you as the employee who went there with talent to work for them. They're seeing like I own you and your family, and I can get rid of you if I wanted to. Yeah, that's the mentality that they have, it's fucked up around here. It's a spiritual kind of wickedness. That's why they behave like complete narcissists that, you know, they hired you to do the job, but you see that they don't even care for your expert opinion. They want to be the know-it-alls, right? And to the point where you're like, so why did you hire me if you can do this job, if you know everything? Because that's how they're thinking. That's how they're thinking. There's a lot of freedom in this economy if you have your own thing, whether it's your own salon, whether it's your own barber shop, whether it's your own, business where you sell your veggies. There's a lot of freedom you get than have to deal with these people with these kinds of mindsets. I tell you, your happiness and your peace of mind is way more important than dealing with arrogant people like this who feel like they own you, like you can go anywhere, that they can keep dangling the promotions. You're so stressed out about getting a promotion because they're not paying you enough, but they are siphoning all your work hours, all your energy, everything, right? They're dangling. It's confronting because some of these places we are going to work, they don't pay you enough and you end up tapping into your savings still, and then they still treat you with disrespect, and when they are done disrespecting you, they'll just discard you. Very confronting. These are the systems we are in, and these systems are going to be tougher and tougher and tougher. So the quicker you start building your own financial freedom independent of all these wicked people, the better it is going to be for you and your family. Mm. But these are not the things that they're going to tell you on the media. This is not what you're going to see on TV. They want to entertain you and keep you numb, right? All this entertainment is to numb you, right? Because when you're not numb, you're going to have to see the situation for what it is and realize, oh, it's a fucked up situation, right? Um, and then you're not going to play the game. You're not going to subscribe. You're not going to subscribe to them. You're not going to keep giving money for entertainment. You're going to you become a stoic. You're going to tell yourself, I'm not, I don't care. You know, I don't even know when I sat down to see a movie. I'd rather read a book. I am numb to this sort of entertainment. The rich don't care about you. You know how Trump doesn't care about you? Food and grocery is so expensive here. He wants to go into a war that he cannot win because America has not won any war since Vietnam. So there's no winning, you know. They had to leave Afghanistan because there was no winning. Soldiers were just dying there for no good reason. And the money that could have used to help the economy was being diverted to war. Billionaires don't care if your children don't eat tomorrow. They will have their war. They will have their oil. They will create the system that favors them because they don't see you as a human being. They see you as a slave, as a resource to be utilized, And then when you retire, they even the word they call you retire. When they no longer can use you, right? They tell you, you're retired. Now go away. Go back to your family or whoever is in your life. They can take care of you for that other end of your life. We are done using your good, beautiful years. We are done using your resources. We're done using your strength, healthy body. And we've taken your time. We've taken your time and your energy and your dreams. Now you can retire. Hopefully, you have enough saved. Good day. This is why you have to have your own. I don't care if I'm here having 3 views on YouTube. I'd rather be creating something my own community, people who can support me, people, you know, people who can benefit from something I have, an offer that I have to put, whether it's to help them understand mental health, to motivate them to create a good life for themselves. The system needs somebody to fight back. Be you. Let it be you. Because a lot of people have given up fighting back by default, right? And even if you have, maybe you decide, I'll become a teacher, I'll become a nurse, plan ahead, right? Plan. I'm not saying don't go get a job. It's just saying plan your way out of a system like this, you know? Plan your way out of a system that's structured for the house to win, not you. You know, the system wins all the time. It's kind of like gambling. When you gamble, just remember most of the time the house wins, you know, because the house created the game. They created the game so that they can win. So it's really not a gamble. It's pretty much giving them the money because it's created for them to win. In this system, they're harvesting your time and your energy and your dreams. Your time, energy, and your dreams. That's what they're after. I was shocked at how easy you can get a criminal record in the states that follows you everywhere. Oh, you are shocked. It's shocking for you. I think COVID was kind of meant to make us wake us up to that reality. We are being followed, we are being watched. They're telling us to stay 6 feet apart from each other. You know, if you go to one of these protests or things happening, they'll know you are there by the phone. They can track you and your family. You might start seeing police follow you, give you a record. Yeah, it's going to get so weaponized. Mhm. Mhm. The beast system. I think we are in the beginning of those beast system. It's just going to get worse. When they own the water, the seed, You can't even have your own farm and farm your water, or have your own water, or dig a well in your farm. You know, there's power to having your own land to farm, you know, but they're coming for the land too. When they own most of the land, you take away freedom from people, because a fallow land, with land, you can plant your own veggies, you can have your own cows, like you can have stuff, like you can have chicken, you can have meat, right? You can have eggs. You can have milk with a cow. A farm can give you freedom. Yeah, you can make cheese and sell it to your neighbors. Yes, I was like, wait, so something small that happened when I was 15 can even affect me even in my 40s? Damn. Huh. And it shouldn't, right? There should be like a background check that doesn't go 10 years back, right? Most background checks, they go 10 years back. Like, so when you're 15 at 25, they shouldn't, right? But I know they like to do this so that you can't vote. But I think you can still vote, but they like to tell you that, oh, you had a criminal background, you cannot vote. Vote. Register as a voter and vote for the future you want to create, because yeah, they don't, if they don't want people who've been jailed by the system to vote, it's because they don't want to empower them in any way to fight back. Yeah, but to tell somebody who has been 15 years like something's going to affect like the rest of their life, that should not be allowed. Like anything beyond 10 years should not be. You should have to look, like those things should have, need to be erased, unless it's something serious, like like aggravated assault, something that's just. Are you serious? So basically, if you have a criminal record, you are not. Yeah, yep. They don't want you to vote if you have a criminal record. And then is that people forget that people created these systems. We can always change the system. Like we don't have to agree to anything present in the system right now. We can always change it. Like we have the prerogative to change anything. Here in the US, we forget that, hey, we don't have to be like the baby boomers, okay? These are the people who are out there eating children, raping them, essaying them, kidnapping them, right? And so for me, like when I look at them, I'm like, these are the guys who are supposed to tell us. You see how I said about the Epstein files, and my computer just lit up. My computer lit up when I talk about the baby boomers essay. My computer over there, you see it? It lit up. I'm here. It should not be showing like it's on. right? It should be like a dark screen. It just lit up. You see now? It's gone to sleep. You see how it's gone to sleep now? Now it's gone to sleep. It lit up on its own. Now it's going to sleep because I said about Epstein files. In my country, after 5 years, you can get it removed based on what crime it was. Yeah, definitely felons are thriving in this economy. Like, like these people, they don't have a right to tell us what world that we need to live in. Like, if you're the kind of people who are okay eating children, raping them, like we like, why do we have to listen to these evil people? Like, when and why did did people who can do such despicable acts become, now they're the people who have to tell us how to live our lives, right? A lot of people forget their power. Like, I think you're dumb and stupid for eating children, and I don't think you should tell me anything about anything in life. like like what are we talking about here? Like, yes, you seen, yeah, they're tapping on certain topics because why would my computer just come out, you know, and behave like that? I told you it happens. Now you've seen it evidence for yourself. Oh my God, I'm itchy. Now you've seen it for yourself, right? They do it. They're listening to you. These devices, they are listening to you. But you know what they can do? They can't stop us from talking, expressing our views. Because the moment we stop talking, the moment like we tell evil that, oh no, we're so afraid of you, evil. We're just gonna do whatever you evil people want us to do. We're just gonna give up without a fight. You know? Kind of like what Trump expected from Iran, to just give up without a fight. Just be like, okay, you want to take our oil? Just come, you big guy. We don't want us to be bombed by nuclear. Just come take our shit, right? Call them their bluff. Let's see you use nuclear because you didn't get your way. Let's see that happen. Let's see you wipe out a whole civilization. Let's see those balls. Call them off their bluff. They are like, If he did that, it would be game over for America because you don't know who else would be so pissed off and throw a nuclear bomb this way. You never know. Maybe that could piss off China or Russia or even some other countries in that region, right? They'll probably decide, okay, we're just going to have to destroy Israel, and they blow one nuclear there, both, make it disappear. You never know what's good happen. Hi, Will. Right? You never know what would happen. So, I mean, stay vigilant with your mental health, stay sober. Right? Stay sober. The line between your mental health and garbage is very thin. You gotta expand those neural connections for mental health to protect yourself from all this that's happening around the world. I always tell people, continue building yourself. If you want to build a home for yourself, build a home for yourself. Cook your own food, learn about nutrition, love the people you have in your life, spend more time with the people that you care about. you know Go about your business, protecting your happiness and the life that you want to create for yourself. This the only way you win. All these other things, you're not gonna win from them. My whole thing with this military thing altogether is, if every country minded their own damn business, would we really fight, right? We don't need to fight. You don't need to fight. There's always a choice where you can act more civilized and go for cooperation, or you can use war, right? If if Iran doesn't want to sell their oil to America, America can ask Nigeria or Saudi Arabia or Russia, right? You can always ask somebody else, right? But Israel wants to expand its territory, so it's trying to take territory from Lebanon. Netanyahu showed people the map of Israel, and in that map, Lebanon doesn't exist. Gaza does not exist. Like, it was a complete like expansion and wiping out civilizations there. And I don't know what they plan to do with those people. But he showed a map of the Middle East where Lebanon is out, Gaza, like a few countries, even I think Kuwait, like there are countries that don't exist according to Netanyahu's map of what Israel looks like. Expansionist people. They are going to fuck up the peace that we have been enjoying in the world. But yeah, the devil, the devil rules the planet. So we expect the devil to do devilish things here. Hey, Scovy. But stay vigilant, right? Don't let these, if you can vote, then go vote, right? It's the only thing that you can do. Um, you don't have to buy this narrative that they are going to feed everybody. You don't have to buy the lies. A lot of people don't understand that, the US and Israel are the problem. To be honest, like a lot of people here don't even want to see that, or even understand that that's ungodly, that's unholy, um, to invade people, to destabilize, people and their way of life. No, because they believe that because somebody is a Muslim, I think they believe they shouldn't be able to exist, right? They, there are Americans here who are Christians, and these are people who have good jobs, okay? You would think that they'll be very, very educated, but they believe that Muslims are a threat to the world, and Israel invading Gaza is the right thing to do. They believe that 100%. And you can't even ask them, like, hey, like, what do you think about like the 1 month child who just died, or the child that can't, they had a home yesterday, they had their toys, they had their family, they had their room, and then today they wake up, their home has been destroyed by Israel, all the toys are everywhere, they don't have a kitchen anymore, they don't have a bed, and those acts of terrorism. And I ask, in for that child, are they going to see the US and Israel as good people? Or are they going to see them as terrorists? Right? Because you have to look who is looking at the, like, you, when they see the US flag and they see all these people in Israel coming, destroying their property at night, making all these noises, threatening to annihilate them, who is the terrorist at that time? But a lot of people here don't want to see that. I don't know how they see these things. It's the lack of education, even here in America, is huge. Yeah. They said these people are evil, we need to destroy them. And that's as far as that mindset goes. Um, and they use the Bible to justify that. That's as far as that mindset goes. They don't really look at themselves and their actions and what it means to the rest of the world, and other people. They don't see themselves as terrorists. Americans and Israelis don't see themselves as terrorists. I was sad at seeing the death being women and children, not even warlords. They're talking about, yeah, it's a whole propaganda. They spread the lies, they indoctrinate people. Most Americans really don't care what the story is, um, because all they have to do is to read the Bible, and the Bible tells them Israel is good, and so they assume the Muslim world is not good. And that's the justification for ruining people's lives, destroying their homes. That's all they do, right? I do read the Bible, but even if the Bible doesn't say those things, and the regime actually, the Bible says that people call themselves Jews, but they're the synagogue of Satan, which I think is what Netanyahu and his regime is. I think they are genuine Jews, but I don't think Netanyahu represents any of those people. uh, right? But how many Christians do you think are well educated to even read the Bible correctly? You know, most of them can read correctly. And then there are those who can read correctly and they don't care. So, yep. Anyway, let me go about my business today. We've chatted for a long, long time. Great seeing you all. Let's do the blessing. May we all be happy and live with a joyful heart. May we be healthy and live with a body that gives us energy. And may we be safe and protected from all sorts of inner and outer harm. And may we live with the ease that comes with well being. I was laughing now when the UK is denying Kanye West entry because of his words, but defend baby boomers. The sad politics that we live in. Me, baby boomers, I have no heart for baby boomers. Okay. The quicker they die, the better. Sometimes that's how I feel. Um, you know, they should be dead in 30 years. Um, I mean, most of them should be dead in 30 years. Yes, yes, yes. Let's meet up again. Love you all. Take care. God bless you. Talk to you soon. I'll be blocking your channel. You are the only one. Religion only. You do that. Goodbye. Good day.